Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Adventure Women Deep Dive. I'm Emily, I'm the Director of Sales here at Adventure Women, and today we're exploring probably my favorite trip, our safaris in Tanzania. I've been lucky enough to experience this several times. It's one of my favorite topics to discuss, favorite destination to chat about, and I'm excited to have you with me today so I can share a little bit more from my perspective and offer personal insights and tips as you're planning for your next adventure. Throughout this video, I'll cover some of my favorite moments and I'll share a few things that I think makes Tanzania so special. So what do I love about this trip? Obviously the wildlife. This is why everyone hones in on Tanzania, and for good reason. Tanzania is home to the Big Five, the Great Migration, which moves through the Serengeti ecosystem year round. We use seasonal camps, so you always have the best shot of catching it. There are smaller mammals, there are big cats, there are lots of birds. It's a very dynamic place, and the Northern Circuit allows you to experience an abundance of wildlife up close and personal. You'll be amazed at how much you see and just how close you are. The other thing I love about this trip is the cultural women to women connections. Tanzania is home to over 120 cultural groups, and you'll get a chance to experience really personal moments with several different women's organizations, Maasai elders. You'll get to visit potentially a clinic, a school, and it just allows you to feel more connected to Tanzania beyond just the wildlife. The other piece that I love are the creature comforts that are built in. So on this trip, you're going to be on safari. It doesn't have to be rough and tumble. So we put you in some luxurious accommodations, including Niumba tents, which are going to be more like canvas hotel rooms. This is an example here on the right showing you what it looks like. Real bed, real linens, place to put your bag. You have a bathroom compartment that's en suite that has a chemical pump flush toilet, a gravity fed hot water shower, a sink where the staff will bring you hot water to wash up with. So it really allows you to be as close to nature as possible, but you do have all those creature comforts. I have to tell you that I've had some of my best wildlife experiences in and around camps, some of these camps, including seeing a small herd of elephant move through one of the camps when I was there last time. It really allows you to be close to the wildlife, away from big hotels, and it's just the best way to experience a safari. To give you an idea of what this itinerary looks like, this is going to be focused on the Northern Circuit in Tanzania, and that means you're going to focus mainly on the Serengeti ecosystem, Serengeti National Park, and the Ngorongoro Highlands. So for this trip, you fly in and out of Kilimanjaro Airport. There are several ways to get in and out. Most people use the route through Amsterdam with Delta and KLM. There are other ways to get in through the Middle East or through Ethiopia. If you have any questions about flights, let us know. But the most common route is with Delta KLM in and out of Amsterdam. Once you arrive, you'll take a drive to Arusha. We'll have a driver there picking you up. You'll overnight in Arusha. And then the next day, you'll start in the Eastern Serengeti. So you'll have a charter flight that takes the group out there. And this Eastern Serengeti is really special. It's part of the Serengeti ecosystem, but it's not part of the national park, so it's not busy. It's only open up to a few groups, including Adventure Women. And it's an area where you can explore on foot. You can do night drives, things you can't do in the national parks because they're very protected. And you also get to meet with several Maasai women in different capacities. So one of the most profound experiences is meeting with one of the Maasai elders. And what they do is they clear the camp of all men. They bring in a translator, and you just have a really honest conversation. There's a lot of questions that they have for our group, questions you have, and it's just a sharing of different experiences and different memories. And it really is one of those experiences that people walk away from this trip feeling that it just totally changed their perspective. So we're really grateful to be able to offer this to our guests to have a really deep and profound women to women experience, which is important to us as a company as it's one of our pillars. From the eastern Serengeti, you'll go down to the central Serengeti, and this is an area that is big cat country, so you can see a lot of leopard and lion. Even in the dry season, it's where the migration moves through the May timeframe into the summer. And it's just a really amazing area to stay in. You don't see a lot of other groups, so you kind of feel like you have that access to wildlife to yourself. It's also very close to the launch for the balloon safari. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But if you wanted to add that on, which I highly recommend, that's a great place to be. And then from the central Serengeti, you're going to fly to the Ngorongoro Highlands, where you're going to stay at Gibbs Farm, which is an award-winning hotel in Tanzania. It's very luxurious. It's beautiful. It has the best coffee I've ever had. So please do have the coffee and take some home with you if you can. And then you get to visit the Ngorongoro Crater, which is a volcanic caldera that had imploded, and it created this really lush ecosystem where animals live almost year-round. So you're able to see quite a bit of wildlife in a short time. And then from there, you'll drive back to Arusha where your trip will end. So again, to go over the women to women experiences. So as I mentioned, you have this really great day where you get to meet with the Maasai community, starting with a conversation with the Maasai women. You'll have an opportunity to potentially visit one of the clinics there or one of the local schools. And so you really get to have a wonderful experience where you get to connect with the local Tanzanian women. Some of the wildlife you might see, as I mentioned, you have big cats, leopard, cheetah, lion, so many zebras. The first time you see a zebra, you're going to take your camera out, you're going to take 100 pictures, and then you're going to realize by the end of the day, they're just zebra everywhere. They're incredible. They're so cool to watch, but they are everywhere. This is a Cape buffalo, one of the big five. They're really interesting to watch as well. More wildlife, as I mentioned, we have lion, elephant, there's the Great Migration of wildebeest, and then my favorite, giraffes. So you see so many giraffes just eating the acacia trees. I could just watch them forever. I've been able to walk among them in the private nature refuge. It was such a special experience for me. And if you're really interested in all of this wildlife, you're going to see all of this and so much more. As I mentioned, the food is amazing. The camp chefs are incredible. It's a lot of family style meals where you can pick and choose what you want. Tanzanian inspired, some of it more Western influenced. There's an abundance of food. You will not go hungry. It's just absolutely fantastic. All local, farm fresh. So it's something that is always a highlight for our guests. As I mentioned, there's an opportunity for a hot air balloon experience. And as you can see, these are quite large baskets. They hold about 30 people, one of the largest balloons in the world. It's a really cool experience. You start off very early in the morning, you get to the launch site just before sunrise, you load in the balloons, and then you float over the Serengeti as the sun is rising. It's absolutely beautiful, getting a bird's eye view. You can see lots of wildlife. The sunrise colors are gorgeous. And then you end to a champagne toast and a bush breakfast. They set up a whole table, kind of restaurant set up in the middle of the Serengeti, and you get to have breakfast while looking out on the Serengeti plains, which is absolutely iconic. It's one of my favorite memories. We mentioned the Nyumba camps. Here's another example of what those tents look like. They're really quite spacious and very comfortable. This is Gibbs Farm, which is where you'll be staying in the Ngorongoro region. Again, a luxurious hotel. It's beautiful. I could stay there for weeks. It's just absolutely gorgeous and very peaceful. Transportation-wise, you will have some of these smaller charter planes. So again, these are bush planes. They fly quite low. Our groups tend to fill them as the groups tend to be between 8 to 13, sometimes up to 15. You'll be spending your days in Land Rover Defenders. These are converted for our group, so they hold several people. Almost everyone gets a window seat. They have the pop-up top, so you get that 360-degree view. They're really comfortable. So for wildlife viewing, what you'll be doing for most of the days as you're in the national parks, they're very comfortable for the wildlife viewing experience. Something else people ask about is the weather. So in Tanzania, there are a few different seasons, and I'll put this here so we can talk about the dry season. So the fall is considered the dry season. That tends to start moving into the light rain season, which will happen later in November and December. But our trips that are generally in October, these are going to be at the very tail end of the dry season. So think landscapes golden brown, low grasses, really nice weather. You might see a light shower kind of come in really quickly, leave as quickly as it came in. They usually happen in the evenings. It might be a couple times on your trip. It doesn't really impact your experience, but it's kind of incredible because this wildlife has been waiting months and months and months for rain to come in. It's been several months of the dry season. So it makes for a really dynamic experience. And then you have the May time frame. I've been on safari in all these different time frames. I love visiting in May. It's the end of the heavier rain season, which ends in April. We have a few weeks. We wait till the end of May, just let things dry out a little bit, and everything is lush and green. You have those vibrant flowers. You have taller grasses. The animals tend to be more centrally located because there's so much water, and so it makes again for a different type of dynamic experience. It's the rut for the Great Migration, so a lot of the wildebeest are showing off to vie for female attention as it's mating season, and they are moving into the central Serengeti, which is that big cat country I mentioned. So you have wildebeest, zebras, all the big cats, and they kind of collide at this time of year. So I absolutely love the May time frame as well. These are some of our dates for 2027. As I mentioned, we do have a date available still for this October, October 2026. Happy to chat more if anyone has any questions. And then our dates for 2027 are in May and October. You can look at the details online at adventurewomen.com. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. And thank you so much for joining me on this destination deep dive for a Tanzanian safari. I hope this gives you a better sense of what it's like to experience a trip with Adventure Women.